Well, hello, welcome back to the Shed of Knowledge. I'm your old pal John the Storyteller. You're here for another something interesting, right? If you're not, you're in the wrong place. If you want boring, stupid stuff, then there's plenty of that on YouTube. Don't worry, just you're not going to get it here. What you're going to get here is something cool and interesting. That's what I try and do. Uh, but anyway, welcome again. I am going to do a story today about World War II, and I know what you're saying is like, boy, you are killing me with the World War II. I know. But I was sitting here, and I didn't have any leads on anything. I just wanted to do something, and so I thought, I know what story I'm going to do. This is a story that my son-in-law told me, and I've looked it up and, to make sure it's real and all that stuff, because it's kind of really unusual. And it is a story of survival. And it's also, a kind of a cute little story. Now, we've all heard of the Bismarck. That was the Nazis' super battleship. It sank the HMS Hood, which was a major British battleship. Really made everybody mad. The Bismarck was, a real threat, a very real threat in the age of battleships. This is 1941, beginning of the war. The Bismarck was a real threat, and so sink the Bismarck. Well, I mean, it was even a song. We're going to sink the Bismarck. So anyway, the idea was that we are going to sink the Bismarck, and eventually the British did. The HMS Cossack is one of the ships responsible for finally sinking the Bismarck and eliminating that threat and beginning the British superior or Allied superiority in the seas, particularly in the Atlantic. The Pacific War was a little bit more drawn out, and we can get into that if you want to. In fact, I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina, and the USS North Carolina, which was active in the Pacific, is here, and you can tour it. So come to Wilmington, and you can tour the USS North Carolina. It is fantastic. They open up more and more of it all the time. You can go down in the engine rooms. There's just a lot to see on the ship, and in some cases, I've been able to do some backstage stuff. And you open up a drawer in a desk in one of the rooms, one of the many rooms in this massive ship, and it's full of paperwork from 1941, forms that need to be filled out in case somebody gets hurt or something like that. So the SS North Carolina is a must-see. But we're not talking about that right now. We're not talking about the Pacific Theater. I tend to digress. We're talking about the Atlantic Theater, and we're talking about specifically the Bismarck. So the Bismarck was sank finally, and one particularly interesting survivor was picked up from the Bismarck, and this survivor's name was Oscar. Oscar was floating on a piece of wreckage, and they fished him out of the sea, and he came aboard the Cossack and pretty much made himself comfortable there really quickly. The Cossack was in turn sunk itself. 150 some sailors were killed, but there were survivors, including Oscar. Oscar was also a survivor. They picked him up as well, and he finally served on a ship called the Ark Royal, which was another military ship, active military ship, and retired to a seaman's home in Belfast, I want to say. I think he ended up to live out the rest of his life. Oscar was a cat. Oscar was they had little pets on the ships from time to time. Even though it's a dangerous environment, a cat is something that's good for morale and people liked. So he started out as the Nazis' cat on the Bismarck, then became the cat on the Cossack, and then became a cat on the Ark Royal. So he is a survivor of 3 shipwrecks. The Ark Royal was also destroyed. So Oscar the cat is a multiple survivor of these disasters during World War II. I imagine he probably does not want to get on a ship anytime soon. Uh, but anyway, he lived out the rest of his life in comfort in Belfast. But that's kind of funny that this cat made it over and over and over as the ships went out from under him. This cat tended to make it.